This right here is the Dell XPS 16. Let's go ahead and unbox it. Well, that didn't work. Neither did that one. Maybe because I was pulling it at an awkward angle, but here we go. It says that it is 100% recycled box. That's pretty nice. So here we have the box itself. Minimal packaging here with XPS right there in the middle. It's pretty nice for a recycled package. The unboxing experience. We got the laptop right here. And then we also get a Type-C to USB-A and HDMI dongle. And then there's the power cable, some paperwork here, a power adapter, pretty slim charging adapter, I would say. It's like the size of a power bank. And here we have the laptop itself. Let's take this baby out. Nice and silver. Let's do the magical one finger lift test and see how this laptop performs. And it has passed. Here we have the laptop. Boom. It looks very nice. Let me actually take a look at it. Yes, indeed. So the trackpad right here, you know, when I saw this, I thought this whole thing, this bottom part was a trackpad, which would have been pretty cool, but this outline right here shows you where the trackpad is, so that's nice. Just completely blank, super clean look. I actually like this look. And then there's a capacitive buttons up top here. And where's the power button? This must be the power button. Maybe it has no juice. I always liked Mac design, you see. And this laptop right here, the build quality and the way it looks satisfies my premium design and feel that I look for in a laptop, that I would want in a laptop, at least at this price range. Let's go ahead and plug this in and charge it up. So we get a Type-C port on that side and two Type-C ports there. So let me show you the ports here. Two Type-C ports on the left side, and then for some awkward reason we have a micro SD card slot and a Type-C port and a headphone jack. I don't think a lot of people use micro SD cards unless you're using like action cameras. I don't know why it's not a regular SD card, but it's got a micro SD card slot. It would have been nice if this came with an SD card slot, this little dongle, but let's say you want to use an SD card slot, this micro SD card slot, you're not able to do that. But if this was an SD card slot, you could still use a micro SD card, which would have been way better. First, boot up. I know this is a quick video, but it's just my first impressions of this. I'm going to also compare this with my MacBook Pro in a second once this turns on. So let's see if this boots up now with it being plugged in. Voila. The laptop is almost done booting up. While it's booting up, let's quickly talk about it's up, but I'll still talk about it. Let's quickly do a specs rundown. And this is a touchscreen laptop as well. My previous Windows laptop was a Lenovo Yoga something. I think it was the Yoga. It was like a Star Wars edition one, and that one was super nice. I only had it for like a couple of months before I sold it, but that laptop was nice, but it wasn't as powerful as a MacBook for editing videos for my needs. So now let's do a quick specs rundown. This has a 16.3-inch OLED display. It is touchscreen. It has a refresh rate of 90 Hz and it can get as bright as 400 nits. It's got Intel Core Ultra 9 Series 1 processor, clocked in at 1.8 gigahertz. And this particular model has 32 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage with NVIDIA RTX 4060. So should be a pretty powerful computer here. And I've already shown you guys the ports. It's supposedly supposed to last up to 28 hours. I'll be testing all of this out. And it's also got these capacitive buttons on the top, similar to what the MacBook Pros used to have. On the front, it's got a 0.92 megapixel 1080p webcam, which should be good enough for some webcam activities. And then yeah, that's about it for the specs. Wi-Fi 7. All right, now I'm going to download some benchmarks and we're going to quickly compare this with the MacBook Pro, and I'll also do a design and speaker comparison as well. So let's get to it. Boom, here I have the MacBook Pro on my left side and the Dell XPS 16 on my right side. Now let's do a one finger lift test and see how this goes. And the MacBook Pro has a cutout for me to place my fingers to open it, very ergonomic, while the Dell does not have that. Anyways, let's do this. Slightly easier to open on the MacBook Pro, and we're also going to do a boot up test. So, but yeah, slightly easier with the cutout, but not really an issue. But it is nice to see the little details. So that was the MacBook Pro. So this right here is the M2 Max MacBook Pro. It's got like, I think 92 or 96 gigabyte RAM. But before I need to calm down. But before I even do that, let's check out the wobble of these displays. Pretty good hinges here. I've been using this for a couple of years now, and the hinge is still strong on the MacBook. Test it out at this angle. Same amount of wobble, I would say. Really no issues with wobbles over here. So stable screens, and with its aluminum body right here, it's not a lot of flex. Same goes for the MacBook Pro, but this one does have slightly more flex than the MacBook, but still a solid laptop. Now let me quickly talk about the keyboards here. Slightly different layout. Let me take this silicone cover, or this cover off the keyboard. A flat keyboard design on the Dell. Very flat. While the MacBook, it's slightly raised. Typing feels good on the Dell with the flat keyboard. It's pretty nice. And it's a nice typing experience on the MacBook as well. The Dell definitely has bigger keys, but easy typing on both. Look at the trackpad over here. We have a glass trackpad on the Dell, so you can't really see the trackpad, but the trackpad is here, right here. So just so you can get a better idea over here. So this is where the trackpad is. It's slightly smaller than the MacBook Pro's trackpad. Okay, I'll probably be talking more about potential issues of this laptop as I use it more, but as of now, everything is looking good, and the build quality is great. And the build quality is good. It's nice seeing Windows laptop with solid design. Okay, now it is time to do a quick speaker test. So let me go ahead and open up the internet browser here. One thing I already like about the Dell is the touchscreen aspect. It does make the flow a bit more engaging, and it feels more intuitive and natural. So 16.2 inch display over here and a 16.3 inch display. So if we take a look at the sides right here, you can see the MacBook Pro is slightly taller, but the screen is supposed to be slightly 0.1 inch bigger over here. So let's see, you know, in terms of its width, it is slightly wider than the MacBook Pro, which you might be able to see right here. As for the bezels, pretty thin bezels all around here. Now let's do a sound test at 100% volume. The first will be the MacBook Pro, so we have something to compare with. And here we go. Well, actually, let's just listen to the Dell first. Let's get this first impressions going on here. Okay. It's loud. Okay. All right, let's check out the MacBook Pro. Both playing at 100% volume. MacBook Pro definitely sounds more full. Okay, it's got a decent amount of bass. Let's see how the XPS does. Okay, so the MacBook Pro definitely has better speakers. It sounds more full and has more bass and all that. While this one, it sounds like it has more treble. It sounds clean. And it sounds pretty loud too. So there we go. Okay. If I had a decibel meter here, the Dell would definitely be louder. It sounds, let me actually bring it. I have the decibel meter app opened up, and let's see which one's louder, because to my ears, this one, the Dell sounds louder, but the MacBook Pro sounds more full. You know, bass sounds good, mids, highs, they all sound good. While over here, it sounds like it has good loudness, but not the bass to go with it. You know, so here we go. I'm gonna put this right over the speaker in the middle right here. So it was able to achieve a max decibel of 88.7. Let's do the MacBook Pro now. And the MacBook Pro received a max decibel score of 85.3. The Dell was able to get as loud as 94.9 decibels. Now let's see how the MacBook Pro performs. Okay, while the MacBook Pro got as loud as 91.7 decibels. So the Dell XPS 16 definitely has a slightly louder speaker than the MacBook Pro, but not by much. Overall, I would say, you know, the speakers, they definitely get the job done. I do wish it had more bass, but not bad. That was the speaker test. Now let's do a quick benchmark test. Here we go, starting it off with the Steel Nomad Lite stress test. This is for lightweight PCs. No idea why the picture is so small. MacBook Pro is done, while the XPS is about to start the test now. This is the second time running this test. The results are in, and the Dell XPS got a score of 47.12 frames per second, while the MacBook Pro got a score of 65 frames per second. Overall, it got a score of 6,360 on the Dell, while the MacBook got a overall score of 8,780. We're going to run Cinebench. Let's start this off with a CPU test. I also do want to point out that we are testing right now strictly on battery power. The test is done and the XPS got a score of 7,903, while the MacBook received a score of 14,859. Also do want to point out the keyboard backlight right here. I like how it lights up so nicely. Now let's run some more 3D benchmark tests. The next test is Night Raid. Overall score of 20,626, graphics score of 24,965, and a CPU score of 10,392. Now let's run one more test. Let's do Firestrike. You might be able to hear the fan noise here. It just finished up with this test. And here it received an overall score of 15,465. Graphics, it got 16,920. Physics, 21,197. With a combined score of 7,544. This score, budget gaming PC,